Welcome to this Softron seminar on ASK Private Show. I'm Pierre Chevalier, CTO at Softron. This seminar will be divided in three parts. First, a very brief introduction about Softron. Then I'll be showing you what's new in ONIA Video 4, our player application that has been released very recently. And finally, I'll do a brief overview of other software that we offer. Softron develops software on a Mac for broadcast and production facilities. We offer a wide range of solutions going from ingest to playout, character generators or replay. The fact that we use off-the-shelf Mac computers with our software offers a great deal of flexibility and performance. For example, with a MacBook Pro, you connect AJ, Blackmagic, Delta Cascades or use NDI, and within minutes you can be recording or playing out multiple channels. Or you can be using a Mac Pro and you can be recording up to 16 HD channels on a single Mac. Here are typical uses of our software. If you are a TV channel, you probably need to broadcast 24/7, and you can do that with our ONIA Video or ONIA Node. If you are producing a show, like a news show where you need to start video, you can use ONIA Video or ONIA Video Express in order to start the subject of your news show. Another example is sports events, where you need to record multiple channels. You can do that with Mover Recorder and do edit while ingest, which means that as soon as you start recording, you can start editing right away, which is very useful to have the summary ready at the end of the event. You can be using also mReplay in order to do replay during the sports events. So as you can see, there's a lot of different uses, but that's it. And now let's dive in what's new in ONIA Video 4. In ONIA Video 4, we have added many new features, so it's difficult to know where to start, but let's start with what we see. We have refreshed the user interface, but kept the same logic. So, as usual, you can go in the Finder, select a bunch of files, drag and drop in your playlist, and start playing right away. We can create multiple playlists and save them, so as it's still document-based, very easy to use. One of the most awaited features of ONIA Video is the ability to have an output preview. You can do that by going to the menu window, select Output Preview, and there you have a preview of what is going out to your AJ, Blackmagic, Deltacast or NDI output, and you can even put it in full screen. And you can see on this output preview that there are graphics on top of the video. This is because ONIA Video has a new option, the DGO for Dynamic Graphics Overlay option. To set that up, go in your Preferences, a Graphics pane, where you can add CG projects. Then you can use them, select a default state. The default state is whether it should run by default or not. You can see that the box right, which is this project, is on by default. And if I untick it, you see that it goes away. Once you have added the CG project to the list, define their default state, you can also control the graphics on each clip. If you select a clip, go in the clip inspector, you see that there are all these projects and you can change the status. You can say, for example, for this clip, I would like to have the center text edit project to run. And if we start playing that project, you see that there is a new graphic on air. If I start playing the next clip, it goes away. Very easy to use. You can also change the values. You see here, we can see what is playing out there, and I can change it here. What's new? And now, if I play it back, you see my text has been updated. So it's very easy to add graphics on air. CG projects are created as before in ONIA CG Designer, which is a free application that you can install on any computer in order to create your graphics. The next feature I wanted to talk about are transitions. Previously, it was only possible to do cuts between clips, but now I can select a clip, go in the inspector, and select a transition. There are different built-in ones, such as a cross-dissolve. So now if I close that, start the previous clip, you will see that it chained the next clips with a transition. But there's more to it, because we have done a transition editor, where you can see the different transitions that exist, what they do, but you can also add a video file in ProRes 4444 with an alpha channel. Once it is imported, you can see that it has automatically detected the edges. So when the first clip will end, so when the transition ends there, and when the next clip will start. Once it is done, you can close it, select the clip, and use the Softron wipe transition. Now, if I start the previous clip again, you will see that it will use my wipe transition. Next up is the secondary audio output. To do this, select in Preferences, Output Settings, and enable this option. What it does is that additionally to the audio that goes out your video device, you can also select any audio device on your Mac, including Dante or MADI, to output the audio. Before we get into another major update that we have done in Ondia Video 4, which is the scheduler, let me show you a few more things that we've added in the playlists. If you are playing a few clips in chain mode, sometimes you may want to skip some of the files. Now it's very easy to do. You just right-click, select Play Next. See this little icon? It means that these two clips will be skipped, and play that one. Another new option is the shuffle mode. When you enable it, when you start playing, it will randomly pick the next clip to play, which is very useful if you have a playlist that you don't want to play all the time in the same order. In Ondia Video 3, it was already possible to add in your playlist video files, audio, still image. It was also already possible to add a live clip in order to play the incoming signal of a video input, for example. We are adding now in Ondia Video 4 the ability to add a stream clip. With that, you can add the URL to a RTMP stream, and we will play that RTMP stream when it's time. The last type of item that you can now do in Ondia Video 4 is to add comments. It's very useful to add these comments if you want to keep your playlist organized. There are new features also in the timing window. If you enable this option, Ondia Video will announce when it remains 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, and listen.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm sure you will love this if you are producing a live show. It is also now possible to view the remaining time until the next live. So if you play that clip, you now know that it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds until that live source plays. The last one before we go to the scheduler, you can now create a folder-based playlist. You point to a folder where there are video files, select Open, and we create automatically the playlist with all the clips that are within that folder. And if now I delete, for example, that clip, you see that it has been deleted automatically from the playlist, and if it gets back, it's back in. This is very useful if you want to have Ondia Video play the content of a folder automatically. All the users have to do is just drag and drop files within the folder. As promised, let's see now what you can do if you're a TV channel or if you have any need of playing out specific clips at given times. The first thing you can do now is that you can right-click on a clip and select Set Auto Start Date Time. You can then enable the option, select on which date and which time you want the clip to start, and if you close it, this clip will start only on that date at that specific time. Note that for this option to work, you need to have the playlist open. So we have another feature for that. We have the scheduler. So let me open the schedule window. You can see that there are two sections. Here are the repeated events and here are the fixed events. How this works, you simply click plus in order to add either a fixed or a repeating event. If it's a fixed, you specify a date, and if it's a repeating, you say when you want to repeat, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. This will create events. Once you have created your event, you go in the Finder, select a few playlists, drag and drop in your event, and that's how you schedule very easily a playlist PL1 to start every day at 8 a.m. There are a few more options, like you can set the playlist to play in loop, or to be automatically randomized when you open it, or to shuffle the playback. Note that you can also play folder-based playlists. Once your schedule is set, just enable it, and it will automatically open the playlist and start playing what it should. If you are doing automated playout, we have also improved our actions, which are sometimes called secondary events and are used to control CG, GPIs, routers, etc. You can, as before, select a place in your clip, click the plus icon in order to add an action at that time, but now you can also set if the action is relative to the start of the clip, an in point that you have set, or the out point that you have set, or the end of the clip, which is very useful if you have clips that have different length, but you always want to have an action to be triggered at the end if you want to end a CG project, for example. That's it for Ondia Video 4. I hope you are as excited as we are with all the new features that we've added. But there's even more to it. We didn't have the time to cover everything. For example, we've added a lot of features for 24/7 operations. For example, we can now support SCSI triggers. We also can control video routers, or we support OP47 subtitling. And we have tight integration with traffic software. So don't hesitate to go to our website, softron.tv, to check the release notes of Ondia Video 4 and also download a free demo version so you can try for yourself. And now it's time for the third part of this seminar. I'll be showing you a few of the other software that we do. Let's start with Movie Recorder. Here is the user interface of Movie Recorder. You can see that there are three main areas. First, on the left, you have the list of sources available on your Mac. You can also set the destinations. In the middle is the preview area where you can see your different sources and control the recordings. And on the right, you can see the schedules and the VTR controls. So what is a source? First, local sources. A local source can be different things. It can be a Thunderbolt device from AJ, Blackmagic, or one of our M family. Or it can be a PCI card that you have connected in your Mac Pro. Again, a PCI card from AJ, Blackmagic, or one of our M family. It will automatically show up in the list there. Then there are the NDI sources. I think the name is self-explanatory, but basically if you have an NDI source, you'll be able to click here on the plus, and you'll see in this window all the NDI sources available on your network. You just enable them, and then you'll be able to record from it. The last type of sources are remote controlled. This is where I will add remote movie recorders in order to be able to control them from the same user interface. Once you have configured your source, you can use them, of course, and you can go in the viewers area where you can see here that you can select any of the sources that is configured, and you can simply select it like that. But otherwise, you can also drag and drop, and here you preview that source. But of course, here we only have one viewer, so you can go over here and select to view, let's say, 4 viewers, and you see you have the different layouts. Like, let's pick this one, and you can see now that I have my different sources that are available to view and control over here. To set up your destination, you click on the little wheel over here, and there you can change the name, set where you want to record, and this is a feature that I like very much. You can use tokens, as with other custom naming, in order to set your name. For example, use the month token to set the recording name to use the month, the day, hour, minute, seconds, and so on. But what is important, if you notice here, I've used a slash. And when I use a slash in here, what it will do is that it will automatically create subfolders. In this case, it will create a folder with the month and day, and in that folder, it will record a file with hour, minute, second, source name, and so on. And then you select the AV preset that you want to use. AV presets are configured in the preferences. If you go over here, and you have here the list of AV presets available. Once you have configured your destinations, you go over here and you can select for that source, I want to record to that destination. For example, here it's only QuickTime, but if I enable MXF and streaming, and if I hit record, I will record to these 3 destinations at the same time. There is no limit in the software. Of course, the limit will be what your computer can do. And finally, on the right pane over here, there are the scheduled recordings. It's easy to add a scheduled recording, change the name, set if you want to record every Monday, Tuesday, or on specific date. and then start recording, end recording, select the source from where you want to record, and to which destination. And that's it for Mover Recorder. I didn't go over everything. There's really a lot more. For example, the VTR control or the remote control. I did not go into much details, or metadata. So don't hesitate again to go to our website, download the demo version and check it out for yourself. But now I want also to give you an overview of mReplay. This is mReplay, our instant replay solution. It is very easy to use. You can see on the left-hand side, you have the list of inputs and outputs that are available on your computer. This depends on what you have connected. As with Move Recorder or our Playout application, you will see devices from AJ, Blackmagic, or our M family, Thunderbolt devices, or PCI cards. Once you have enabled your inputs and outputs, then you can go in the Viewers area. This Viewers area can be configured at the top here. You can select the number of viewers you want to see and then the layout that you want to view. Once you have picked the layout, you can simply assign to each of these viewers what you want to view. You can simply select here and say I want to view output number 1 and then go here, but there's easier than that. And if I click there and drag and drop, I have my 2 outputs assigned here, and take my inputs, drag and drop, and very simply I have all my outputs and inputs assigned to each of these viewers. Now there's something more with the outputs. So with the outputs, you can select what you want to view in that output. So at the top right here of the viewer, I can select which camera I want to view. And this, for example, is playing the playlist, which is a compilation of different clips that either I have set in mReplay, or it can be external video that you simply drag and drop as with on the video. As I showed, you can select which camera is assigned to which output simply by going to the menu and selecting it there, but that's not very convenient during a live. So what you can do is use keyboard shortcuts like the 1, 2, 3 to change the camera. Of course, talking about controllers, there is more to mReplay than just changing the cameras. You can, of course, control the playback. You can immediately go back in time, select a different moment, and go play in slow motion. And then a little bit quicker, and then, of course, still change the camera while you are replaying in slow motion a specific moment. You can also create clips. So, for example, now is a good moment, you go a little bit backwards, select there, add an endpoint, that's added here, a new endpoint, and then go a bit forward, and for that moment, and it's O to create a new clip, and you'll see immediately the clip is created. And I can simply replay it by double-clicking it here and hitting play. Once you have created your clips, you can simply drag and drop them in a playlist in order to replay them, select the speed at which you want to replay and which camera you want to view, and then once you start playing, you see it's playing in that second output. So as you have seen, it's very easy to use, so don't hesitate to go download mReplay and try for yourself. Multicam Logger is a software that connects through the network to either ATEM or NewTek TriCaster production switcher or other production switcher through GPI. And then once it is connected, you start logging, and every time there is a different camera that is selected by your production switcher, we will log at which time code this has happened. And we also log markers, so you can add markers, log the angle changes, and then you stop logging. Then you go here and you export your XML. You can export to Final Cut Pro 10, Final Cut 7, Adobe Premiere, and it will create a multicam clip in your favorite editing software, and you can fine-tune your edit so you have something clean that goes out there very quickly. That's it for this seminar. I hope you liked it, that you learned a few things, and that you know a little bit more what we do. Again, don't hesitate to go to our website, softron.tv. There's a lot of information there, and you can download free demo version of our software. There's nothing best than downloading on your computer that you own, put the software there, try it out before you purchase. Also check with ASK, they have a lot of knowledge on our software, and check the other seminars. There's really a lot you can learn from there. So I hope we'll be able to see each other again at Interbe sometime, and until then, stay safe.